What's up guys? So recently I've been seeing more and more social media companies hire younger and more in touch social media managers for Twitter and all their other social media. I feel like this is a good business move because it kind of personifies the company a little bit more, makes them seem less like a huge corporation and more just like an average person on Twitter. And I feel like people like this because I remember back in the day when Wendy's was on a huge Twitter rampage and they were on something to almost every fast food chain under the sun. I'm talking McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, you name it. And they kind of went a little bit viral for it, and I think some other businesses were inspired by that, and they wanted to do the same thing. Obviously not to the extent of Wendy's, going out there and flaming the shit out of all their competitors, but having a social media manager make some funny tweets here and there in the year 2022, some things just aren't allowed to be joked about, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. An American tampon company called Tampax tweeting out what, in my opinion, was quite a funny joke, and you can probably guess what I'm going to say. Yep. People on Twitter got mad about the joke and started putting out every excuse under the sun to be offended. And I just want to talk about some of those tweets here today. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the original tweet made by Tampax, which in all honesty, I don't think it was all that outrageous, but here we go. You're in their DMs, we're in them. We are not the same. Now, if you're a complete dumbass and don't understand what this tweet means, it means that the tampon is inside of the woman and you aren't, basically implying that the tampon gets more pussy than you. And as stated in the tweet, you are not the same. Now this tweet obviously isn't directed to me, as I get all of the women, as you should probably been able to figure out already.
Stop the cap.
But anyways, this is good for business, right? I mean, a harmless joke, it's their most liked tweet, and it got them the most attention. And I mean, that's the goal of these companies being on social media, to attract customers and get them attention. So the social media manager probably thinks he's taken a fat W and done a great job. And most of the general population would agree. It was a funny joke, it gained some traction. However, in the tweets I'm going to show you right now, some of the people didn't quite get the joke, and the poor social media man's being called a P3 a misogynist, a bigot, you name it. And some of these people come up with the weirdest excuses to get offended. So here we go. We have this tweet right here by Jess. It's just not hot 22-year-old women who get their periods, right? Replace their and them with 13-year-old girl and see how this reads. Now Jess here with the emojis next to her name, with an eggplant emoji, eyes emoji, and a throwing up emoji. I'm guessing that means when she sees dick, she throws up or feels disgusting or something, which is, completely fine. But taking a look at you and your profile, I'm going to say the dick probably doesn't get too excited when it sees you either, my friend. But going back to the tweet, first of all, literally nobody was talking about a 13-year-old girl. Absolutely nobody. So I'm genuinely confused as to why and how your mind got there. So to help you understand this tweet, I'm going to try and break this one down for you, Jess. The social media man is not talking from his perspective, but he's talking from the tampon's perspective, meaning that he himself is not inside of a woman, but the tampon is inside of a woman. Second of all, why would we replace it with 13-year-old girl? Like, why would we make a tweet which wasn't weird at all? Weird. Like, it's funny how these people can make up these crazy scenarios inside of their head and complain about them on Twitter as if it was, reality, as if it was something that the social media man actually intended, as if he was sitting there actively thinking about 13-year-old girls and being inside of them while making this tweet. It just didn't happen. Alright, let's be realistic here. It didn't happen. So, and again, nobody specified it if it was going to be, a 22-year-old woman or not. Like, it's once again something that you pulled out of your ass to make a bullshit point. It could be a 400-pound diabetic whale, or it could be a Minecraft skeleton. It really doesn't change the tweet in the slightest. Now this one here really made me chuckle. This man right here says, I have 13 and 11-year-old girls. You'll never be in them. I'll make damn sure that every mum of every girl I know hears why you shouldn't be in them either. My eldest and her mates are already grossed out by the creepy bloke you call a brand ambassador. Misogynistic creeps. Now first of all, can we all appreciate that this man right here made this tweet from his iPad? Like, bro was really out here making angry tweets looking like this. but anyway, back to the tweet with the weirdos instantly thinking that people want to be inside of kids. Like, why is this grown-ass iPad man on Twitter's mind instantly going to be inside of his kids? Like, if you ask me, that's weirder than the original tweet. And I'm being dead ass as well. He could have said anyone else, like his sister, his wife, his sister-in-law, his mum's sister's aunt, like literally anyone else above the legal age. But he chose his kids. Like, of course, my man chose his kids. Like, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to take the tweet out of context for whatever reason. I don't know. But all he did in the process was make himself look really creepy and weird. But moving on, let's also talk about the ridiculous misogyny claim here as well. Like, I'm not too sure about you guys, but I don't see any misogyny in the original tweet here. Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I don't see any. So you know what? I'm gonna go and look at the definition for misogyny and see how this tweet matches up with the definition. So here we go. Dislike of contempt for or ingrained prejudice against women. Like, I see no prejudice. I see no dislike. If anything, it was more of like an appreciation thing, kind of. I mean, not really, but there was definitely no dislike, is what I'm trying to say. So there's no discrimination. I don't see what's wrong with it. So I don't see, you know, the misogyny claim was really just uncalled for, and it's just another reach to try and get points on Tampax for like literally no reason at all. Now this one is just like, I didn't even know what to say, like, so I'm just gonna read it right now, I guess. And ladies, as always, thought this R-wordy tweet was funny too. You know where not to shop. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room here. R-wordy, like, really? There's no way that this individual is a real, functioning, well-adjusted member of society who would think this way. Like, he almost had to be some sort of robot or NPC, because me personally, I don't see anything R-wordy about the tweet. I don't see anything R-wordy about it. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. Or just the entire conversation between Always and Tampax. Like, in my professional opinion, the jokes Tampax are busting right now are top tier. Like, this social media manager is like a comedic genius. You know what I'm saying? So like I did for the last tweet, let's go and look at the definition for R-wordy, and you know, we'll see how well the tweet matches up. So here we go. Sexually aggressive or inappropriate in a way that causes fear or unease. So first off, this is absolutely not sexually aggressive, so we're just going to discard that completely. Second of all, inappropriate, yeah, it is an inappropriate joke, and it would be foolish of me to sit here and say that it wasn't. However, it's so mildly inappropriate that is it really worth your breath? Is it really worth your time typing on Twitter, wearing out your Twitter fingers to get mad over? Because it's really, in my opinion, it's really not. And surely inappropriate jokes, you know, they aren't banned too, right? It's like these people want to live in a completely perfect world where the only jokes you can make are like dad jokes or classic knock-knock jokes because they don't offend anyone. But unfortunately for these people on Twitter, humour like this is always going to exist, no matter how many litres of tears you cry. But moving on, let's address the last part where it says causes fear or unease. So starting off, guys, don't worry. The corporate company on Twitter is not going to try and come to R-word you. Neither will the tampon, since to my surprise, and maybe even the people on Twitter's surprise as well, it is an inanimate object. It can't harm you and it cannot R-word you, surprisingly enough. And two, I don't want to believe this, but in this day and age, I wouldn't be surprised if a tweet like this was causing people genuine fear and distress. As if you looked at the tweet yourself, you would see the white knights, the distressed parents and the crazy women coming together and expressing how this makes them uncomfortable as they're sexualizing women and pushing a misogynist agenda, which doesn't quite make sense for a company with a demographic of almost exclusively women to try and push a misogynistic agenda onto them. It really doesn't add up in my head. I don't know about you guys, but if I was the owner of Tampax, I don't think I'd be trying to scrutinize the people I'm trying to sell my product to, you know what I mean? It just doesn't quite seem like the best business move to make. But anyways, as we draw this video to a close, I just want to make sure that people know that no, the company is not coming to R-word you, and no, they do not want to be inside of your children's DMs, nor do they want to be inside of your children. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, subscribe and comment Tampax if you made it to the end of the video, so I know you're a real one. But for now, I'll just see you guys later.
天上太阳红呀红彤彤哎，心中的太阳是毛泽东哎，他领导我们的解放哎，人民翻身大。